Matakan Kolkan. Yeah. Shkach, Mati, Zeitlin, and Nachman Fried, and anyone else who's involved in being Masada. The Shiur. Special thanks to my Rebbe, Rabbi Chaim Kramer, and BRI, Breslov Research Institute. Last week, as part of learning Torah Chaf Daled, we were looking at Mem Ches in Tinyana, Torah 48. We got to, in the regular edition, it's last big paragraph on page 27, Chaf Zayin, in Mem Ches, and we're just going through it because it's relevant to Mitzva Gedola Besimcha Tamid. We're basically digging in the word Tamid, because the word Tamid is, there's not much wiggle room. Either means consistently or constantly, it means both. But the problem with that means that the assumption in the Mitzvah Gedola Besimcha Tamid being something that's applicable is never off the menu. It's applicable 24/7, 365, 120. The obvious obstacle or challenge that we have with that is that life happens, and marriage ain't ksubeloi tigra. There's no situation that business doesn't always go. Everything is up, down, up, down, up, down. With health, finances, everything. So to say b'simcha tamid, and I'm supposed to exist b'simcha, inside simcha tamid, consistently or constantly. Consistently would mean that's always my default. And constantly means it doesn't make a difference. Whatever's going on in our lives, it's a constant. So what we really have to ask ourselves, and this is what we're in the middle of doing, is going through different scenarios, whether it's a difficult marriage, or a difficult child, or a difficult health situation, or difficult finances, or difficult neighbors, or neighborhood. Makes no difference. In the end, it's the same principle. How do I maintain Simcha Tamid throughout all of those? And any of those. And we've got enough many Baruch Hashem people in history and also in the Breslov community who lived that way. So this is what Mem Ches is a little bit about, and we're going to see how he deals with it. So we're looking really, let's get as many ingredients as we can on the table so we understand what are the mechanics of the Tamid. How do we keep getting back to the Tamid, no matter how many times we get knocked down? We keep going back and don't give up. So that's really why we're looking at Mem Ches. So going from the large paragraph at the bottom, Tzarich lios akshan gadol b'avodas Hashem. So a person needs to be an extraordinarily obstinate person in his avodas Hashem. Obstinate really means exactly that, akshan. Livli lahaniach et mekonmoi. Don't let go of wherever you are. Whatever person has started, stumbling 3 times a day, is trying to look inside, trying to finish most of Shachris, eventually all of Shachris, whatever it is. Whatever he started, af im yavu alav ma. No matter what happens, whatever goes over him, whatever he experiences, uzchor davar zeh heitev. Remember this well. This is something to constantly remember. Ki tizdarach lezeh moed. This is something that's needed in the extreme. What's the need? To be an akshan. To be an akshan, not to let go of what one has begun. And when you have started a little bit in serving Hashem, now he's doubling the language. We're not learning this be'iyun right now, but we're getting the main messages out of here. One needs to have a tremendous amount of obstinacy, in the extreme, liyos chazak ve'amitz, to be strong. Ve'amitz as another word for strength. It's not the same, obviously. Amitz is when you're, from the word mitz, when you squeeze. Chazak is strong. Ve'amitz means you're squeezing out another level of inner strength. Le'echos atzmoi, to hold himself. La'amoid alamdoi, to stand on his place. La'amoid throughout Chazal, Amida, which is translated literally as standing, is referring to independence. So, for example, v'hemidu talmidim harbe. But most of the time we translate the language there as stand up many students or establish many students. But the word amida really means make many students who are independent. They can stand on their own. And I do believe that's really the the tachlis of a Rebbe, and especially Rabbeinu Zal, his whole tachlis, if you want to call it, his whole purpose was that generation after generation after generation, they would be able to stand up with his eitzes to no matter what they're going through, whether it's communist Russia, whether it's the Holocaust, whether it's the incredible gashmis of Olam Hazeh as we're experiencing in the extreme. In today's age, never has there been a time in Jewish history where there's so many billionaires. And every one of the situations is a different type of Nisayon. So Rav Nachman is giving us the ages. How do you stand? And stand doesn't mean I will never fall. It means no matter how many times I fall, I will stand again. I'll get up again. So Lamoid Ba'amida is a very strong language. We're right in the last paragraph on Mem Ches in Tinyana, where it starts with Sarach Liyos Akshan. So we're about 5 lines down on the words Lamoid Al Amdoi, to stand up in one's place. Don't give up. That's really that's what it means. Now Amida always refers to I can stand up. In English, it comes from the same language. Amida means when you say the expression "stand on your own 2 feet," you mean he is independent. He's not dependent on circumstances, on other people. He has an inner motivation. This is what I believe is the choice of words here. So be strong, squeeze out of yourself as much strength as you need. Le'echos told himself, to stay where you are. And even if he is pushed down, he's made to fall, each time, because it happens, people fall, as is known from their avodas Hashem. Afal pikein. Nevertheless, our love, it's on him. Lasos et shaloi. He should do whatever he can. Lasos mashuchal ba'avodas Hashem. Va'al yanech asmo lipol gamri. And what's that mean? Never let yourself fall completely, meaning you're still in the fight. Right now I'm down, like Chaim Krim always tells me, I might be down, but I'm not out. It's an expression in the world of boxing or wrestling, both. Not sure. I may be down, but I'm not out. I'm still in the ring. Okay, right now I can't get up. The wounds, the punches, I just have to get my bearings, and then I'm back in the fight. So I'm never down the Gamri Chas v'Shalom. Ki chol elu hanefilos, all of these fallings, v'hayiridos, and going down, v'habilbulim, and confusions, ukiyos b'zeh, and anything similar to that. Srichim b'hechrach la'avar b'hem. There's no way out. You've got to go through them. It's impossible to avoid. Because the moment we're born, we start dying. We are born to die. And in between, this is a world, Mitzuda Frusa al Kol HaChayim. This trap, Mitzuda is a trap, Frusa is spread al Kol. Anyone who's alive is inside this trap. I might not realize it, but yeah, I'm in this trap. Every fish might be swimming innocently, but it doesn't know he's inside a net. The net is already spread out. The moment we're conceived, the moment we're born, the clock is ticking. And al korcha ata noitza, al korcha ata noilad, al korcha ata chai, al korcha ata meis. We're in this world. He's going to talk about Geshet Samoid very soon in the same Torah. There's a one-way street. There's no turning back. But I'm going back home when I die. My body goes in the ground, but my neshama is forever. So it's all good news. Death is not something to be afraid of. Living wrong is something to have a huge pachad for. That's the worst, because that is what's determining eternity. So death is not actually a problem. According to Shlomo Melech, it's actually it's a huge birthday, much bigger than the regular birthday. Tov Shem Mishem and Tov. Perek Zayin in Koheles. Tov Shem Mishem and Tov. A good name is way superior to Shem and Tov. Shem and Tov has tremendous qualities. Good oil. It has medicinal qualities. It can provide light when you light it. It can provide warmth. It can provide fuel. There's so many good things. Tov Shem, but a good name. Oh, Mishem and Tov. That is superior. A good name, that's hard to acquire. And to leave this world with a good name. So the difference between the two is immeasurable. The day of death is immeasurably greater than the day we're born. So we should not be afraid of death. Rav Nachman was very unafraid to talk about it, even with youngsters. There was once a kid who was diagnosed it looked like it was going to be terminal, and Rabbein Zal spoke with this kid. I think he was 9 years old, and told him, "Don't be afraid of dying. You're going back to Hashem," and so it's not something to be afraid of, and we don't talk about it because we don't want to, but it's not we shouldn't be afraid, because that remembering where we're going is actually better than going to a party. Remember, we're going to a Beis Aval, and just remember where we're going. So comes along Rav Nachman and says, all this we have to go through because you're alive. And before you get to any of the gates of Kedusha, whether it's Kedusha Seinayim, we're at the bottom of page Chav Zayin in Torah Mem Ches, in Tinyana, before you get to any of the gates of Kedusha, whether it's Kedusha Seinayim or Kedusha Sapeh, we're in the last 5 lines on the last paragraph on page 27 in Chav Zayin at the top of it. So before we get to any gates of Kedusha, whether it's Kedusha Chila, Kedusha Hapeh, Kedusha Seinayim, there's Kedusha Hamachshava, all of that, a person has to go through a lot of falling, a lot of pushing down and starting again. That's what his biggest encouragement here is. I need not just a regular akshanas to be obstinate, no, akshanas gedola, and not just akshanas gedola, akshana gedola ma'oid, exceedingly. So it's basically as extremely as an action as it possibly can. So interesting that in Rav Nachman's persona, as his own personality, he was extremely mevater. If someone pushed and pushed, just let them. Even when he was dying, and he said, "If I beg you for a doctor, don't listen to me." And Rav Nosson wasn't there at the time when they were pushing and pushing. He should get the doctor, so he was masking. But because he understood. This is my simple understanding. He understood. If other people around you, and they're all min Shemaim, hakol b'dei Shemaim, chutz mirat Shemaim. So if people are pushing and pushing, just let it be. Because guess what? Hashem can make the desired end come about no matter what route one takes. So I don't have to be an akshan in that, but the akshanas of avodas Hashem, he would not let go on. As coming back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single time, not let go on all the kedusha that he was holding on to. He would not let go. He would not let go of ein shum yush ba'olam klal, even to the extent that he said, even if I did the worst imaginable avera, 1 second later I would be the same tzaddik gomer as before. There was an avera in between, I'll still be, because I know to pick myself up again. Rabbi Shimon Morgenstern said the same thing of himself when he was talking to one of his Talmidim. So that Talmud, I don't have permission to say his name, told me that, you know what the difference is between you and me? That when you do an avera, you're in this zone of charata, in this zone of regret and beating yourself up, and said, by me, 1 second later, I'm back again. Because that's what Rav Nachman is pushing for us, that I'm inside my thoughts. And it's my thoughts that are my machshavas rois that pull me down. It's my koyach hadimyan that I think I'm unworthy, I've blown it, I keep getting angry with this person, they trigger me, and I keep finding excuses why I don't have to take responsibility myself. You trigger me. It's you trigger me, and I've got so many instances to prove it. And Rav Nachman is telling me, let go, and start again. Let go, start again. Be moed al emes, start again. V'gam hatzadikim ha'amitim avru b'chol zeh. This is not something that a person should think, oh, why do I have to go through this? No, anyone who was ever a real tzaddik, they went through this. Started again. Fell, started again. V'da, should know, sheyesh echad shekvahu etzel ha'petach shel ha'kedusha. It can be that a person could be right at the gate. He's right at the entrance. He's finally got there. He turns around. Why? Because of all the confusions. It's just not worth it. It's such a difficult journey. And I'm actually going to enter. So I'm probably going to get hit with an even bigger Yetzer Hara, and just turns around. I vote for mediocrity. No, don't go there. Go push for another level. Kedushas Achila, Kedushas Anaim, Kedushas Machshava, Kedushas Aped. There's so many areas. Kedushas Abris. There's so many areas. So a person could actually get there and turn around before he enters. Or there could be another situation. He's really close to the entrance of Kedusha. Now he gets a huge attack from the Sitra Achra and the Baldava in exceedingly difficult Nisayan, Rahman al-Islam, with extraordinary, exceedingly overpowering Yetzer Hara, Rahman al-Islam, ve'ein manichin oisai likanes l'toich Pesach, and they don't let him go in. Who is the don't let him go in? Who are the they? His thoughts. Because all the minyas are taking place in one place. And once I know that's the only battle, it's not the wife and it's not the kids. It's not the boss and it's not the lack of opportunities in this career. It's none of that. It's all taking place in one place.
Is that the Yetzer Hara? Is that synonymous with the Yetzer Hara?
Yes, 100%.
Because who's the Ein Manichin, I say?
They don't let. The thoughts are not letting me. And where the thoughts born from? So that the thoughts are born from whatever I've said, done, and thought in the past that created malachim that are pushing me in the direction I'm going in.
I remember we learned it before that the Yetzer Hara is the Machshavas Raz.
Yes. Torah Memtes. Yeah, I think he says it there 3 different times in 3 different contexts. The Machshavas Tovas, Hem HaYetzer Tov. The Machshavas Raz, Hem HaYetzer Hara. And when we take seriously that every Machshava actually creates a malach, then it's that malach who's molichin oisai, who's accompanying him with all the other malachim I've created. We're going to see soon.
Right?
Sorry?
The Molichin oisai, that's the Mashur.
That's the Mashur? Yeah, molichin oisai, that's the Mashur. In Daf Yudam with base in Makos. Yeah, but Derech Sha'an Moitza Leilech, molichin oisai. Yeah.
Creates malachim.
We create malachim. It's a few places the Marsha. It's like a theme the Marsha brings out again and again and again, especially in the whole area of Bechira. He tries to make it so simple, which is what Rabbeinu Zal does as well. Keep it simple. What's Bechira? Bechira are. I've got an invitation right now against a Nisayan. And where did the Nisayan come from? It came from me. I created this Nisayan from everything I said and did and thought. And yeah, you got it?
Yeah, it says it right there. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And he's going on the word leiv. For the first time the word leiv is found in the Torah. Is in Perek Vav Pasuk Hey in Bereshis. Hashem saw ki ra v'yar Hashem ki rabas ra Adam. Rabba ras Adam v'kol yetzer machshavois liboy rak kol hayom. And so the Maharal gives us a guiding principle whenever a word first appears in the Torah. That the definition, the context of that word is the definition of that word. So when you see that the first time leiv appears in the entire Torah, machshavois liboy, now you know that leiv is referring to where you do your thinking. And so we translate it, thanks to the Christian Bible, as heart every time, but you see that leiv actually can mean thought or mind. B'chol levavcha, that's what Rav Nachman brings in that Torah. What's it mean? Lav HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chol levavcha, with all your thoughts, Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. They're good thoughts and they're not good thoughts. The reality thoughts, Emunah, that's reality. B'tochen, that's reality. Avas Hashem, that's reality. Hashem is only Tov. Tov Hashem L'Kol is good for everything and to everything. Hashem is all the time good. Chesed, Hashem Chesed Kel Kol Hayom. All those are reality thoughts. Non-reality, sinner. It's not reality. It's kinna. That's ridiculous. Why am I jealous of you? So Hashem made a mistake and he should have given me what you've got? There are no mistakes. So kinna it's not just a bad midah, it's non-reality. I'm living in sheker. And those sheker thoughts is wasting my life because my life is my thinking. My whole life is not judged by how many years my body was on planet Earth. The length of my life is judged by how many thoughts were with Hashem in my lifetime. That is what a lifetime is. So a person can have arichas yamim, So he lived 90, 100 years, that's very nice. But how much of that time was that person spending in Dveikus, Tamimus, Simcha, Avas Hashem, Yiras Hashem, Avas Yisrael, Chesed? So that's the real measure. That's the real measure of a human being. So comes on Maharal and offers the word lay first appears in that pasuk. The kol machshavos kol yetzer machshavos liboy rak kol hayom. So Rav Nachman goes to town on that, and he really opens up that and makes it so simple that the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, which is what Chazal tell us, last Mishnah in Brachas, Perek Hey Mishnah Tes, that the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara is what is meant by Love Hashem b'chol levavecha. That even with my Yetzer Hara, why? Because when I get a jealousy thought, not if, when I get a jealousy thought, when I get a pop-up in my mind of sinner, netira, of resentment and bearing a grudge, now Hashem tells me, oh, am I aware of that thought? Because if I am, now I can switch it to a reality thought. Hashem, you run the world. It must be that this person, for whatever reason, needs that, and I don't. And so I can let go of my jealousy. And that's serving a Kadosh Baruch Hu with my jealousy thought.
So basically, you interpret the love, the is actually that struggle to switch it.
Yes.
You're constant.
That's right.
You're constant accelerating to switch.
Yes. Yes.
This is when you avoid the kicks.
Yes, and it's step 2 because step 1 is just being aware that my mind
Obviously,
is having that.
If you
Right.
actually want to do it, you must have the awareness.
Right.
So basically, as your attempt counts, it's not.
Yes.
It's not the actual having it. It's
Right.
really your attempt that counts.
That's right. That's exactly right. Like Rav Nachman, I don't remember where it said. He said the Yetzer Hara was. Rav Nosson brings this. I don't remember where. Maybe it's in Likutei Eitzes. The Yetzer Hara was not created for me to destroy. It was created for me to ignore. So the sinner thoughts and the netira and the kinna and all the negative thinking being done half chayv. Just that awareness is for me to then, when I'm aware, oh, do I stay with that or let go? Ignore it. Ignore the sinner. Ignore the daiga. Daiga is to be ignored, not to be opened up and talked about. Move on.
So that means also if somebody wants to, so to speak, fight against the Yetzer Hara, that's actually a way to potentially get pulled in, no?
What do you mean?
Taking it into account.
Yes.
Meaning as opposed to saying like, you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
Because it's only when you say, I'm going to take that taiva and break it.
Right.
But then
now I'm fighting it.
That means you're focusing on that.
Yeah.
taiva.
I'm getting in the ring with the taiva.
Does the Rebbe say that with
What?
I think the Rebbe says about machshavas that come during tefillah.
Yes.
Instead of taking it on and
Yes.
biting, you're just getting sucked into it deeper. So ignore it, put it aside.
That's right.
Think something positive.
Right. Move on. Let
As
go.
opposed to getting upset at yourself that you had that thought in the first place during tefillah.
Yeah, and getting
Just to say like, okay, it happened, next.
right. And it's all das. It's all the mind. It's all thought. That's what's taking place all the time. We can't exist without thinking. We can't experience anything without thinking it. It's impossible. So, good morning. We are in. We're finishing up what we started last week. Memches in Tinyana, which is on page 54 in English, or in the second half of Likutei Moharan, page Chaf Zayin on the base. It's all thought. So. Sometimes we're not allowed to enter the top line. I am so overwhelmed by this Yetzer Hara, which is just thoughts, that I give up and I turn around. I can't fight it. I can't fight it. This is the power of the Baldava, which really means master of a word. The Baldava says you can't. I'll never change. Just surrender, give up. And before you know it, I'm not trying as hard as I should in my Midas Ros, with my Gaiva, with my Taiva, with my Kaas, with my Kina, with my Sinner, with my Dan Chav Chayv. And I just like, I'll go to Uman for Rosh Hashanah, hopefully it will turn out okay. But Rabbeinu Zal says, I want you to fight. I want you to fight. Be a fighter. You have to have akshanas gadol me'oid me'oid. Extreme akshanas. Don't give up.
But that itself needs a remedy, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
To have akshanas needs a remedy. Otherwise, a person, you can know you have the awareness.
So
there must be an action. But again,
there's akshanas, which he's referring to here, is akshanas dikdusha, and then there's an akshanas which is very, very negative, where a midas hanitzachon. That's that. It's a very difficult problem here because it's the same midah applied differently, but it's exactly the same midah. Avram Avinu had meshuna dika akshanas. Meshuna. He was so meshuna that even in the face of Nimrod saying, "Look here, I can kill you, I can burn you, I can do anything I want. Just admit in public, I am God, creator of the universe." So Avram Avinu says, "Okay, Nimrod, I'll give it to you, but I just want you to prove it to me. Since you are the creator, could you make the sun come up in the west instead of the east?" And look, if that's too hard, I know we're living in Babel, hardly ever rains, but since you are God, so could you make it rain right now? So Nimrod is infuriated. Says, "Okay, get the fire ready," and spends 40 days with this. That's a long time to think about where I'm going. Where I'm going to be roasted, grilled, and barbecued, and burnt. And Avram Avinu is 100% Moisa Nefesh, and Chazal tells us shelo hiher. He never even had a thought. Why? Miroiv avasu mimenu. He had such a deep love that the thought didn't even pop up. Why is God doing this to me? I'm on your side, God. This is my reward for trying to promote monotheism. I'm trying to get rid of all this ridiculous avodah zarah. I'm on your side, and this is how you're going to reward me. And before that, he was 10 years in a dungeon, 7 in Kardu, and another 3 in another place, all in Babel. And this was before he was thrown into the furnace. So he had an akshanas that had no wiggle room. He refused to give in. Hashem is the only power. There is no other power. And this was an extraordinary chiddush to most of the world. Everyone had their own avodah zarah, and that was my excuse. Hey, this guy's mishkav zachar. Well, that's my God said so. He told me. So, you're so religious. And even Terach, it wasn't even Terach, his father, was not even a sincere Christian. He didn't even believe in the avodah zarah. It was a pure business, and so when Avram Avinu told him, "Dad, don't you see that this big one killed all the others, smashed them all out? That's why he's got the hammer in his." He says, "Don't be silly. They can't see, they can't talk, they can't see, they can't hear, they can't walk." Says, "Okay, so why'd you do this?" But he was moed himself. So, but Avram Avinu wanted to take everybody's ability to give excuses for why they're living a life of sin, and say, "Rebbeinu Shalom, there's only one master of the universe," and he gave us 7 mitzvahs, and one of them is don't kill. Another one is don't commit adultery, don't steal. So the whole mitzvah, well, my God says you can. In fact, it's a mitzvah to us. So it's akshanas.
What I asked you about the remedy to akshanas is actually it's not. It's actually referring to the akshanas kedusha.
Okay.
It's actually.
So
he says that you must be in action, but he doesn't say he doesn't actually write the instructions how to become an action.
Oh, how do you become an action? So I think basically
how do we translate action in English?
In action, obstinate.
But meaning it's not chutzpah necessarily.
No.
Meaning it's not right. Meaning it's
the akshanas dikdusha
like
is
standing up for your beliefs.
Holy obstinacy. Yeah, I'm getting up for Shacharis. Okay, it's a bit late, but I'm getting up. I'm going to bed early because the day begins the night before. It's the akshanas. Adkan sets. I'm not going beyond this with it's eating. I'm not giving a second look. I'm not going to look another time. I'm sorry I saw the first time and I give it. It's a little bit extra. Please help me control my eyes.
Going kind of thing.
Yeah, akshanas dikdusha. But the training is here. It's just the awareness. It's the awareness. So every human being is capable of it, and everyone has akshanas in some level. You look at kids. Okay, end of recess. They'll carry on playing. Yeah. Right? They might until you create some sort of a consequence which is just not worth it to them.
You think you could have someone who's in action in like the other direction, meaning someone who's, I don't know, playing a video game or whatever, and they don't even hear what's going on
They can't even hear mom screaming.
So dedicated
supper.
and
That's
focused on
right.
it that, like, it's,
total focus. That's akshanas.
So we're saying for Kedusha, it's about being focused on it to a point where
Completely
even
focused.
if there's a fall,
Yes.
you say, no, but this is my path. I'm not getting off
Yeah.
of it.
Not speaking in shul if someone has such a Kabbalah, or not speaking while they got tefillin if they have such as akshanas. Their focus is, I can't talk now, I'm in shul, I'll when I take my tefillin off, I'll do it. Well, I'm just giving an example. So comes along Rav Nachman, Machmas zeh hu choyz l'achor has v'shalom. Ki chen derech ha-baldava v'ha-sitra achara. The baldava is he's a controller, he's a master of words. Baldava, he's a master of speech, and he tries to confuse me with all sorts of persuasion. But really, it's the sitra achra. As soon as the baldava sees that a person is really, really close to the gates of kedusha, and he's about to go in, he spreads himself all over this guy. He smothers him in the extreme. A person needs a tremendous amount of inner strength against the baldava, the sitra achra, against his own thoughts. We heard from a certain tzaddik amiti, which Rabbeinu Zal in all the Perushim tells us he was talking about himself. Sha'ama, that he said, and this is what Rav Nachman said about himself, if just one person had said to him, I don't care who it was. It could be the lowest Jew, the big tzaddik, it could be a Beni, it could be a non-Jew. If one person, whoever it could have been, anyone, mamash, when he started serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Achi, if the person would have said, my friend, Chazak, be strong, hold yourself. Hayiti ras, I would have run. So Yisparach. And Rav Nachman was actually talking about himself. He had nobody once ever told him, be strong. He had to do it all himself. This was all the way throughout his youth. He was covering up all the madrigas, but he never got a single word of encouragement. So it takes a lot. Today, kids complain to their parents, you never gave me encouragement. Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay, I apologize. I brought you into this world. I apologize. I paid for your education. What else should I apologize? I paid for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of tuition and for food and clothing. And I'm so sorry I didn't say enough that I love you, or I didn't say enough that I care. But I was hoping, I don't know, maybe you would have made up that all these things equals you love me. There was once a kid. It's a very good song. Came out in the 60s, I think it was, from Mum with Love. You remember that song? I remember the lyrics basically. So a son comes home one day.
Camp, no.
What?
From camp? What's...
No. Okay. Kid comes home, and he writes, and on the kitchen table, Mum sees a bill, and it says, for mowing the lawn, $2. For taking care of my baby sister, $3. For doing the shopping, another $1.05, whatever it was. For helping my younger brother with his homework, etc. And then at the end, it says the total owed is, and the $14.50, whatever it was. So the mother was looking at the bill and wondering what is she going to do? And she sees the eyes of her son looking expectingly to her. So she turns around, takes the paper, turns it over, and she writes, for carrying you in my womb for 9 months, no charge. For changing your diapers thousands of times till you were potty trained, no charge. For hundreds of meals before you could boil an egg, no charge. For dressing you and for paying for school, and she just goes on and on and on. And the last line was, my love for you is no charge. And the kid is tearing away, and he takes the paper from his mum and he writes on it, paid in full. There is no shiur to gratitude. So Kadosh Baruch Hu, he hides. He doesn't need the gratitude, but he wants us to train in gratitude. That's why we're saying Baruch Ata, thank you Hashem, all day long. But he doesn't need it, but it's training us. And so when Hashem doesn't shower with obvious blessing, it's not because he's not showering with obvious blessing, it's me not paying attention. Oxygen, gravity, sunshine, rainfall, wind, free. I never got a gravity bill. Did you ever get a gravity bill? Right? Rietti, you haven't paid a gravity bill in 66 years. Whoa! So like, what? I never got a bill for all this. So where does my ingratitude come from? Does Hashem have to spell it out? He was already spelling it out. Chesed kel kelayan. David Melech couldn't let go of this. So it's all the Baldava. The Baldava wants me to actually believe his stupid, ridiculous narrative. I have a right to complain. And yet Yirmiyahu writes in Eicha, Perek Gimel Pasuk Lamates, Ma yitoinen Adam Chai. A person's alive? What has he got to complain about? Oh, you want to complain? Okay, Gever al Chatav. If you're going to be a Gever, then complain about the only thing you have a right to complain about. My own mistakes. What on earth have I got to complain about? Rebbeinu Shalom, you gave me life. You still give me life. You made me a Jew? Oh my gosh. You made me a from Jew? Or you made me become from? You gave me Jewish parents? And the list goes on and on. Oh, you gave me emunah in the Torah, emunah in the Torah Sheba'al Peh, emunah in you, emunah in your tzaddikim. You brought me close to a tzaddik emes of extraordinary stature, Rav Nachman. Wow, I owe you everything. What am I complaining about? And the answer is, the Yetzer Hara is a thought that gets me to focus on what's not good about my marriage, about my kids, about my kids-in-law, about my health, about my wealth, about my career, about my learning. And before you know it, I'm pulling myself down. I am the enemy. I'm the only enemy. There is no other enemy, only me, my thoughts. So comes along Rav Nachman. Sorry, we diversed a bit. Did you want to say something, Hashon?
No, I'm still waiting for but we'll
an answer.
We'll actually continue about
You remind me of the question.
how you develop it.
Oh, how to develop it?
He's explaining what you need, but how you develop it.
Yeah, I think the formula is if this is of value, I'll do anything to hold on to it. So if I love this kid and the child's life is in danger, I'll do whatever I have to do to save this kid's life. If my eternity hangs on this, I'm not letting go. I'll hold on no matter what. So I think the first thing I have to be aware of is what's the value of which I'm willing to die or live for, or both. Hayiti, what?
Now you answered it.
Okay. Kigam alav ava kol anal. All this happened to him as well. Rav Nachman went through all of this. Never heard an encouraging word from a single person. So if someone really wants to enter this world of serving Hashem, which is investing in eternity, remember this really well. Strengthen yourself in the extreme. Do whatever you can. A bracha, tefillin, tefillah, bit of learning. And the accumulation of days, weeks, months, years, this is a very strong word. You will certainly enter, you will enter those gates of Kedusha. How do you know you will? Because Hashem is saturated with rachamim, with mercy. It's the only reason he put you in this world. He wants your avodah tremendously. V'da. Now this is huge. What we're coming up to now is really, really the crux of it. Shekol hatnuos v'atakos. Every single movement and every hataka means when you avoid something that you don't want to go to. So there's going towards something or avoiding. Whatever movement you make towards something which is kedusha, or any movement you make to avoid something that's not kedusha, she'ata nitak, that you avoid v'netak b'chol pam ezam at min gashmius. For example, you remove yourself from unnecessary gashmius. and you choose to serve Hashem instead, kulam, all those small little movements, even a muscle movement, kulam mitkabsim, they all come together, mischabrim, and they group, mitkashrim, and they become knotted in the sense that it becomes one huge mass. Ubayim, and they come ezrasecha to help you, when it's a real need. So sometimes I'm complaining, I'm doing this for so many years, Rabbi Shalom. I'm putting on tefillin, I'm davening every day, 3 times a day, I'm keeping Shabbos, and I just don't see where I've got entered any Shari Kedusha. So Hashem says, there's no such thing as a lost attempt. Everything counts. There's a Gemara in Brachas, Rabbi Yochanan says, "Ulavai shispala adam kolayem kulay." A person only would daven all day long, and the same nusach with a couple of words added from the same Rabbi Yochanan in Yushalmi, also in Perik Aleph in Yushalmi there in Brachas. He says, "Ulavai shispala adam kolayem kulay she'ein shum tefillah ne'evedes klal," because no tefillah is ever lost. So where are they going? I don't see where they're going. So Rav Nachman is telling you they're being held in escrow. Every effort, every word, every machshava, every good deed is held in escrow. From when it's really going to be needed. So in that moment, it could be I'm about to enter the Shar of Kedusha, and I'm going to get the Siyata D'Shmaya that has been accumulating all those years. But never give up, because maybe Hashem is saying, I check with you every night. When your neshama comes upstairs, I check with you every night. Do you want a reward now for your mitzvahs? Or do you want me to hold it in escrow for a much greater need later on down the line, or for your children, or even your grandchildren? And the neshama follows whatever is the emes and says, in Olam emes, I want to do what's right. And if it's better that it be applied to my children, then apply it to my children. I'll just keep going. So the neshama comes back down when we wake up. It's forgotten the whole conversation. But that's what happens every single night. But there's going to be an Esat Tzorech that it's going to be worthwhile, that all that accumulation will apply. That might be, for example, a situation of tremendous stress or pressure, or Esara has v'shalom. So, and one never knows where all those mitzvahs we did might now be applied to save a person. V'da, you should know, she'adam sarach la'avar al geshet tzar me'oid me'oid. What I love about Rabbi Kunda is that he all his songs follow the word for word. I'm not going to say those who don't, but it's very important, because Rav Nachman took his own words very seriously. He said, "I'm medayik. You can medayik my words like a pasuk in Mikra. This world, she'adam sarach la'avar al geshet tzar me'oid me'oid. You have to cross a very, very narrow bridge. V'haklal." The rule is v'ha'ika, and this is the source of everything. Shelo yitpached klal. Other songs don't say these words. It says shelo yifached. It sounds like it's the same thing. It's worlds apart. Shelo yifached means I shouldn't be afraid, because there's something outside affecting me inside, and it's the fear I have for what's outside. Shelo yitpached is reflexive, which means don't make yourself afraid, because I'm the only one who makes me afraid. And so the Lashon is very meduyak. I'm walking on a very, very narrow bridge. It's so narrow, it's only going one direction. And don't look over the edge. Oh my gosh. I'm so high up, and there's only one way down. And it's definitely death. And the only way out of here is to keep going forward. The start of the bridge is Olam HaEmes, where I came from, and the end of it is the ground where my body will be buried, and then go into Olam HaEmes on the other side. We're all going in the same direction, exactly the same direction. It's a one-way bridge, one-way street. The main thing is haklal. This is the rule to get through this, and this is the source of everything. Don't make yourself afraid, and that's the only war we have. And when we went to war, Rambam brings this in Hilchas Melachim. I didn't check it before, so I don't remember. I think it's in Perik Gedola, but I can't swear to it. He says there that the mitzvah, it's last week's parasha, lo tira mehem. Don't be afraid of your enemies. What do you mean? Don't be afraid. They got in superior artillery, superior infantry, superior weapons, and we're outnumbered. Don't be afraid. You know why? Because I'm the one who took you out of Egypt. So if I can destroy the most powerful nation in 10 Makos, I can destroy the entire army in one crushing fall of all the waves in the Yam Suf. You have nothing to fear except fear. I've only the fear that's the only thing I should be fearing. So the only people who ended up being in battle were the ones who were aware that fear, and this is what Rambam actually says, it's a machshava. Fear is a machshava. And it's that machshava that I should not be afraid of. Don't be afraid that when I get a pop-up, oh my gosh, they outweigh us by far. The next thought should be, don't retreat. That's one of the Teitzei mitzvahs. Don't retreat. Fight them. Let go of the fear because it's only a thought.
I mean, this is probably the interpretation of Rashi last week in Parshat Toimti and Hashem Lekechu. Because all the fear actually is
what's going
to happen, and this is probably how Avram Avinu was able to overcome Nimrod and all, because he actually didn't care about what's going to happen.
Right, exactly.
He knew this is actually defined by Kadosh Baruch Hu. This has not. This is disconnected of me. This is something I have no shaykhs to. What's going to happen?
Right.
I'm only present. I don't care about tomorrow.
Right.
But this is actually what we are learning now, is actually how you develop the strength and bravery of getting there.
Getting there.
It is
Lo yitpached.
lo yitpached.
Don't make myself.
It's hard to. It's difficult to absorb how you get there. How not to fear for tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. Once you get there, you have the undertake. It's this
right.
Step one is done.
Right. The say of the Rav of Nevardok, who he started all the big yeshivas which came under Nevardok during the war and afterwards. So his talmidim standing next to him around a table, and making havdalah. And then I don't remember which, it was the Russian army, I can't remember which army, they were firing bullets and went through the window and across the table, and the Bochrim ducked under the table. And they weren't surprised that the Rebbe didn't duck. That didn't surprise them, because he was an Ein Oid Milvado person, he lived that way. But what they were shocked is that the Kais Shel Brach of Havdalah didn't spill. It made no difference to him. It wasn't the outcome. I don't control the outcome. And if the bullet is meant to get me, it'll get me under the table. So what's the nafkamina? Either I have baton or I don't. Do I believe the bullet can hurt me? Or if it's not meant for me, it won't. So this is what you're saying. I don't control the outcome, and therefore I can stay focused. And when I want the outcome to be my way, I usually don't enjoy life. Because that type of obstinacy means I can't be mevater, and then I'm in trouble. Then he mentions a 100-year-old tree, whose even when it's about to die. I'm not going to read that paragraph. I'm just saying it outside quickly. Suddenly comes back to life. The vitality from the deep roots in the ground pull in the nourishment from the rain in the topsoil. And this tree gives out a burst, and it's alive again. So he says a person should know never to give up, no matter how dried out we are. There's always vitality we can draw upon. I want to finish the next paragraph. We've got a few minutes left. It's Roy. Have you got the next paragraph? Roy leilech. It's correct for a person to go with what is said. I should sing to Hashem, not I should. Azamera, I will sing. Aleph in front of a verb means I will. And I will doesn't mean I might. It doesn't mean I want to. It means I will. I will means no matter how many times I'm pushed down, I will pick myself up. And the closer you get to it, the more it exudes light, the more you experience the light. And we've got one of those stars. It's only 93 million miles away. And during the day, it is so bright, you can't even see the rest of the universe. All that black is completely out of sight. Because one star 93 million miles away is such a good Nakuda Taiva that it shines not only light and warmth, it gives everything that we need, the energy. It's responsible for photosynthesis, which enables all our carbon dioxide that comes out of us to then be transformed back into oxygen through the trillions and trillions of leaves, life-giving oxygen, and it's all a perfect world, and it's all from one little star. It doesn't. We are 1,000th of the size of the sun, but it's so far away that you would think, hey, it's insignificant. No, Hashem wants us to know that that one little star is enough to blind all the black of the universe from our sight. And only when we're asleep at night we don't notice it. And when we wake up in the morning, someone once, he went to bed, he said he couldn't sleep the whole night. He was trying to figure out where the sun had gone, and then it dawned on him. The sun is always there. The sun is always there, and it's always shining. I'm on the dark side of the earth, not the dark side of the moon. That's Pink Floyd, I think. But we're on the dark side of the earth, and we don't see the sun. But when it comes up, it was there all along. It's one Nakuda Teva that makes all the difference. And what Rav Nachman wants us to know is that everything that happens in Gashmias is not lost. Every tenuah, every little movement I make towards something that's Kedusha, and every movement I make away from something that's not Kedusha, it counts. It all counts. And Azamra Lelokai Ba'odi means whatever I can find inside myself, I will sing to you and I will celebrate, I will glorify. And in that celebration, I can build myself, I can be mechazik myself, no matter what it is. And if we start with Shalom Asani Goy, which I had nothing to do with, which means there's no pagam I can find in that. Shasali Zari Yisrael, I can't find any pagam in that. You made that choice for Ben Shalom. And you made the choice that my parents should be Jewish, and my grandparents on both sides. So, and as far back as you can possibly go. And then you start thanking Hashem. I was born. I was not a nefel. I was not aborted, and I was not a stillborn. I'm born healthy. I had bris milah on the 8th day. Wow! And it just carry on and on. Each one of these is nitzchias. So now I'll just finish this also. This is the piece we really want to get to. This small little bit of good that we find inside ourselves, yismach, he should be happy. And take strength from it. Don't let go. Keep reminding yourself. You made me a Jew. You made me from. And all the good things that you can think of since you were born. And no matter what I have fallen to, Rahman al-Islam, find whatever fraction of a fraction of good you can find in yourself and be mechazik from that fraction of a fraction. And through that you can come back to Hashem. This is probably the most Baal Shem Tov was, I said, my mind is completely blank. I don't remember anything. So I said, well, okay, so say the Aleph base. I don't remember how the story exactly went. So Baal Shem asked his Gabbai to say the Aleph base. And through saying the Aleph base, he was able to get back whatever the minimum he could to make a tefillah. And I think that was when Eliyahu Navi came along. We don't know if it was Eliyahu, but someone came and shooed away the cannibals.
Yeah, somebody came with a wagon of a coach and picked them up.
They got afraid and a boat arrived.
Got untied.
Here the coach, they untied his...
They ran away and...
that was his Messiah Teitzei Yisrael.
That was on his way to Israel. And he didn't get
actually
there.
When he gave up. This is where he gave up and canceled the journey.
Cancelled journey. So Rabbeinu Zal was Zeicha, and not everyone was. So the point was that he... when the Baldava tried to persuade him that there's nothing you can do, the Aleph base saved him.
Yeah, he told him, this Gaba, what was his name?
The Beis
Sefer.
Thank you.
He told him that I don't remember anything but the Aleph base. He says, you're lucky if you remember the Aleph base, start saying it.
So that's how he was saved. The Aleph base is about as simple as it gets. So there's no words he's saying; it's just the letters. So, but the smallest attempt makes a difference. No matter who you are and whatever's gone on in your life. The main thing is to be constantly besimcha. Make yourself happy with anything you possibly can. Even if you have to joke around, something foolish, or behave like a shoita, to do silly things, and laughter, or jumping, rikudim, and dancing, to come to simcha. It's extremely great. So the circle that we've made here is that Rav Nachman says Mitzva Gedola is b'simcha tamid, and we're trying to unpack the word b'simcha tamid and pull out from lots of other places in the Kutimran and other eitzes where it helps us beef out and flesh out the how am I supposed to do that? And basically saying, find the smallest good and build on it. Another small bit of good, build on it and count it. Don't discount it. There's nothing that should be ever discounted. In the source of that, we should all be zoicha to Simcha Tamid, and Be'ezvan Hashem will continue next week. Got lots still of good stuff to come. Any questions?
Amazing. So Rav Nassim brings on that pasuk that we talked about earlier, Al Tira. So he says in Sichas Haran, I think it's in Sichas Haran, he says, Tchilas mapala is nisa.
Yes.
You escape. Once the soldiers escape, that's it. That's your downfall.
Right.
You have to stay in the game.
Retreat.
To stay in the battle. The fight.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's actually an Issa Deoraisa to retreat.
Amazing.
The Jewish army had heavies all around the battlefield with axes to threaten and, if necessary, follow through in actually chopping off the legs of a Jew who, in the army that would retreat. So they knew there was just no there was no point.
The French wouldn't appreciate that.
Fight to the end.